final rites of two IAF pilots who were killed on Thursday night when their twin-seater MiG-21 trainer aircraft crashed during a training sortie near Rajasthan is underway right now. Deceased pilots identified as Wing Commander Mohit Rana, 37 years old, hailing from Himachal Pradesh, and 26-year-old Flight Lieutenant Advitiya hailing from Jammu. The mortal remains were brought to their hometown, Arispura in Jammu this morning. Large number of people have gathered to pay their last respects to the martyrs. Meanwhile, Indian Air Force has ordered a court inquiry to ascertain the cause of the accident. The accident has put the spotlight on Indian Air Force's aging fleet of Soviet origin MiG-21 aircraft that was involved in around 200 accidents since the first induction in the early 1960s. Live visuals are coming in at the moment. The distraught families, of course, are inconsolable. The nation paying a tribute. Final rites underway. Final rites underway in Jammu. May their souls rest in peace. They've given up their lives for the nation. And now big questions arising on when will these MiG-21s be replaced, or rather how soon they will be replaced, because these have been the cause of many deaths and have taken the lives away of our brave soldiers. Distraught families are inconsolable at the moment. We're getting you live visuals of the final rites. May their souls rest in peace. Final rites of two Indian Air Force pilots who were killed on Thursday night when their twin-seater MiG-21 trainer aircraft crashed. These are live visuals coming in of the final goodbye to the deceased pilots. Wing Commander Mohit Rana, 37, from Himachal Pradesh, and Lieutenant Advitiya, 26 years old, from Jammu. Both of these martyrs, their final goodbye and their final rites going on. Mortal remains of Advitiya was brought to his hometown Arispura in Jammu this morning. Large number of people gathered to pay their last respects to the martyr. Indian Air Force has also ordered a court inquiry to ascertain the cause of the accident. The accident sure has put the spotlight on Indian Air Force's aging fleet of Soviet origin MiG-21 aircraft that were involved in 200 accidents since their induction in early 1960. Flying coffin taking away the lives of two of our pilots, two of our brave pilots. Last rites going on, the nation paying tribute. Family is absolutely inconsolable and distraught, as you can see. Really heartbreaking visuals, heartbreaking to see the families this way. And you know, the biggest question here is really about whether this accident could have been avoided. Why have these MiG-21s? Why have them? And when will the Indian Air Force replace the MiG-21? The accident sure has put the spotlight on this aging fleet of Soviet origin MiG-21 aircraft that have been involved in around 200 accidents. Despite 200 accidents, why have we not changed them up until now? Since their first induction in 1960s, absolutely obsolete, taking precious lives away, and it's really heartbreaking to see the family, colleagues in this situation, seeing their near and dear one just get killed for no fault of theirs, because the aircraft has been obsolete and the Indian Air Force has not replaced them. Two of two of our brave hearts have lost their lives because of this. The flying coffin has claimed lives of two of our brave hearts, two pilots. Wing Commander Mohit Rana, 37, from Himachal Pradesh, 26-year-old flight lieutenant Advitiya, hailing from Jammu, and the mortal remains right there, and the last rites are going on at this point of time, and big questions really arising as we get you those heartbreaking visuals is that when will the Indian Air Force replace the MiG-21 aircraft, because they've been the cause of about 200 accidents, and why are we waiting for one more? Just look at the distraught families. We'll bring those visuals for you. They're absolutely inconsolable, and this could have been easily avoidable had we not been flying the MiG-21s. When will the IAF replace the outdated MiG-21s is the big question. For our viewers who have just tuned in, final rites of two IAF pilots who were killed on Thursday night when their twin-seater MiG-21 trainer aircraft crashed during a training sortie. And the final rites are underway. Deceased pilots identified as Wing Commander Mohit Rana, 37, from Himachal Pradesh, 26-year-old flight lieutenant Advitiya, hailing from Jammu. Mortal remains of Advitiya were brought to his hometown, Arispura in Jammu this morning. Large number of people have gathered to pay their last respects to the martyr. The nation salutes the martyrs. The last rites are going on, and the nation is mourning the loss of the martyrs, of these brave hearts. The IAF has now ordered a court inquiry to ascertain the cause of this particular accident. The accident sure has put the spotlight back on Indian Air Force's aging fleet of Soviet origin MiG-21 aircraft, involved in around 200 accidents since their first induction in early 1960s. Sunil ji now joins us for the very latest. Sunil ji, you know, heartbreaking visuals coming in. You are there where the last rites are taking place as well. The biggest question here, when you see these families inconsolable at the loss of these lives of our brave hearts, the first question that comes to mind is, despite the 200 accidents, why are we even allowing the MiG-21s to be flown?
Braveheart Flight Lieutenant Advitiya has been cremated with full military honors. His mortal remains have now been consigned to the Panch Tattvas, and there was a sea of humanity who bid tearful adieu to this brave son of the soil. There were top officials from the Indian Air Force, Indian Army, Jammu and Kashmir Police, as well as from the Jammu District Administration and Jammu Divisional Administration. They paid their rich tributes to the martyr, but everyone is asking this question that how long will Braveheart Flight Lieutenant Advitiya continue to lose their lives? This is something which the government now needs to seriously look into, because yesterday, in exclusive interview with India Today's Shiv Arur, former Air Chief Marshal B.S. Danau clearly said that the Air Force is short of the latest, fighter jets, and the procurement process is very slow. It's caught in red tapeism. So that is why it's now incumbent on the government of the day to expedite the procurement process so that we don't lose brave hearts like Flight Lieutenant Advitiya. MiG-21 fighter plane is now aging. It was commissioned into the Indian Air Force in 1963. It has passed its prime, and security analysts have been time and again saying that India desperately needs to have latest aircraft in its fleet. Indian Air Force desperately needs it. Now it's up to the government, and when they are going to, take a positive decision on this. But here in the border village of Arispura, there were thousands of people drawn from different parts of Jammu region who came and they paid their tributes to this brave heart. But everyone was very angry. They were saying the same thing, that why are, pilots being put at such a risk, that to young pilots. So this is something which the government has to look into The nation is angry, nation is mourning the loss of our two brave hearts in that tragic plane crash in Rajasthan's Barmer.